Hi, Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Today is play day. I will have a video on the difference between, well, what I call sniper trading versus shotgun scalping. But first, a little coffee and super special new toys to play with. I was doing a backup of my computer system, and I've got a lot of these YouTube videos now, and they didn't fit on the flash drives that I was using, and so I got bigger flash drive, got 128 gig flash drive, still not big enough. So I thought, all right, maybe it's time to break down and get a 2 terabyte Seagate drive. And you read the reviews on these things, and some of them work and some of them don't work, but Seagate's a pretty good name. So new toys to play with maybe today. More on that maybe on another video. That's not what this one is about. So I'm here in the grass. I don't know if you can see me. It doesn't matter. Can you see the grass? Does that look like it needs to be mowed? I don't know. Probably should be. Supposed to rain later during the week. This is the 2nd of August, 2020. And we've got this hurricane coming up the East Coast. So we're supposed to get a lot of rain. But it's also supposed to be hot and really sunny. So I don't want to cut the grass because I don't want it to brown out. But then I don't want the grass to grow so long that I have to cut it 3 or 4 times. What should I do? Instead of that, let's talk about whether you should do sniper trading or whether shotgun scalping is more along your lines if you're a short-term type trader. Back to you in a second. Maybe I won't cut the grass. I'd rather listen to the birds singing. I hope you can hear it. It's really pretty when you have this ability to just listen to the birds. But we do have work to do. Behind me is the chicken coop. No, we don't have any chickens. My wife would love to have chickens, but I said absolutely, positively not. No chickens. But here we are by the chicken coop, and it's old and beat up and decrepit, and she says, well, why not tear it down? And I go, why? It's part of the character of the property. So what's the difference between sniper trading and shotgun scalping? And these are both terms applied into the scalping arena, the short-term day trading arena. I get a lot of questions about this. Well, not a lot, but you know, I got my 7th subscriber the other day. That's pretty good. These are just conversations that I have and my own delusional thoughts. As you know, I prefer to refer to myself as a scalper because even though I'm shooting for 25 or 30 pips a day, I'm happy to take 2 or 3 if I think I can grab it in a no-risk trade, because those will add up over time. So I'm actually doing both, but I think it's important to define these two stages of scalping, because the theoretical ramifications of what I'm doing are in fact transferable from the short-term trading world up into the longer term. You just adjust the time frame. Real estate is trading. I traded real estate for 40 years. 40, that's 40, not 4, 40. 40 years, and that's a long-term trade, right? I mean, I held some buildings for 30 years. So that's a long-term trade. And then I can get down onto trading currencies, and that's even if you trade by on a daily or monthly chart, you're still short-term in comparison to real estate. So everything, as Einstein said in his General Theory of Relativity, everything is relative to the time frame that you're in and the activity that you're in. So I'll discuss these two aspects, define these two terms in the realm of scalping, because you can easily map that up into the longer terms. It's not so easy to define them in the longer terms and have them make sense down at the lower terms. And if you're a long-term trader, you're probably going to barf at this anyway, because it's very difficult for those folks that are good in the longer-term time frames or swinging to really comprehend how a short-term trader mentally functions without going nuts or stress-induced suicide or something. The sniper trading, I mean, you could say that that's a long-term thing, right? You wait and you wait, and then when the situation presents itself, you go in there and take that trade. Whereas in the shotgun scalping approach, I'm sure you know what that is. You got your finger on the button all the time. You go boom, 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 boom. You see these on videos of guys that are trading. They've got the level 2 quotes, and the order thing is in front of them, and they're just trying to hit those bids and asks, and they just bang back and forth. And geez, a scalper could make 100 trades a day. And if you get a large enough account, you don't even need a large enough account. You can make a few $100 a day or a few $1,000s a day. It just depends on what your bank is. So some people thrive on that. Some people thrive on that action. And look, despite the fact that that sounds like gambling and you're thriving on the action and it's fun, it's very much in accord with using statistical analysis and probability analysis on what you're doing. If you know that in the long run your decisions will come out positive, even a couple of percentage points over the 50% coin toss, I mean, that's your edge, right? So if you have a small edge, you would be better off from a mathematical standpoint to do a lot of trades, to shotgun your trades. If your edge is bigger, then you might not want to or have the patience to do short-term trading. You have a large edge, so let that trade run over a long period of time, because over the long run, the trades that you win will produce these enormous results. And you're still managing your risk so that you might be trading 1 in 4 on a long-term scale, which is very reasonable to do. You think, geez, I'm only going to take 1 risk and I'm going to try to make 4. Well, yeah, but if you're trading on the daily chart and let's say the pair moves 80 pips a day and you happen to catch a really good trend, so it's going 50 pips a day upward. I mean, if you watch that close, it goes 50 pips a day upward. Well, in 10 days, you're 500 pips. Why wouldn't you want to run that? And just originally, when you put your trade on, maybe you take a 100 pip risk or a 20 pip risk or whatever. So it's a time frame that you look at. Now, I can be a sniper trader as a scalper, as well as just picking off the 2 and 3 pips, because I'm looking for that. I'm not going to go into a trade. I mean, I'm not going to sit down at my computer and start banging the mouse as soon as the trade platform comes up. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at the news. I'm going to see what's happening, how I feel, and then I'm going to look at the price action for a while before I start pulling the trigger. And I'm going to look at the structure surrounding the current price action, and I'm going to say, does it look like, from a probabilistic standpoint, that price is going to continue in its current direction at least 25 pips and hopefully 30? And if it does, then I'm going to wait until the price presents itself on maybe a 1-minute chart, presents itself as beginning the next wave of movement in that particular direction, and you see that it is increasing in velocity as that price begins to build in the direction that you're thinking it's going to move. Boom! That's when you fire off the trade. That's a sniper trade. Even though it's being done on a 5-minute chart, or maybe the analysis is being done on a 15-minute chart, and I'm pulling the trigger and actually trading at the 5-minute chart, but I'm doing position management at the 1-minute chart and even the 5-second chart, as I've said quite a few times in my videos. And look, if the trade doesn't continue that momentum that I had thought that it was going to have in order to get to the 25 pips target, and it starts to chatter and it gives me 2 or 3 pips profit, boom, I'll get out, because I can always get back in. There's always a trade going 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. I don't have to anticipate a trade. I can wait. Is that really the definition of a scalper? Hardly. But it's the number. I think the definition of the scalper is not the number of times that you trade, because somewhere along the line you have to draw a line in the sand, right, and say, well, this is scalping and this is not. I trade 20 times a day, that's a scalper, but if I trade 18 times a day, then that's a swing trade. Or if I trade 5 times a day, you know, I might be in a day trader, and if I trade once every 2 days, maybe I'm a long-term investor or trader. So I think it gets really tough making definitions of things and making a rule. You know, everybody, the folks that I've talked to that trade, and my friend Langer's over in the UK, the scruffy trader, says that people are looking for that magic pill, the secret of the trade. How can I have a rule that is the holy grail that solves all my problems? And there really isn't one. So when you start making specific definitions, they become rules. Oh, I'm a scalper. And the reason I'm a scalper, I can define that because I make over 20 trades a day. I think that's crazy, because then people are focusing on the minutia of stuff when they should be stepping back from their trading screens and say, hey, do I think this thing is going to go up or not? Yeah, it looks like it's going to go up. Okay, I'm going to trade. Am I willing to get out with a 3-pip profit? Am I studying down on the real short time frames so that I can see the things start to chatter? Or 3 pips is nothing because I'm looking for 50. So you can't get too anal about your definitions. But I think if you are going to talk about the differences in approach, am I going to sniper? Am I going to wait and fire selectively? Or am I just going to shotgun trades out there, knowing that from a probabilistic standpoint that I've got real good high probability that I'm going to be successful over the long run, over many, 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 many trades? This is just statistical analysis. It's you know, Einstein ran a lot of his initial fame in working in the Brownian motion, which is looking at what does an individual water molecule or an individual dust particle in a fluid, where is that going to go? Well, you have no way of knowing, because if you look at individual particles, they're just going all around. Well, in the long run, where's this river of fluid going? Well, it's going in XY direction. Well, then from a probabilistic standpoint, from a Brownian motion standpoint, that little particle stands a high probability of moving in the same direction that the main group is moving in. So if we apply those types of theories to our trading, then the shotgun scalper makes a lot of sense if he's good interpreting probabilistic and statistical data. If you're not too good at that, you know, you can still trade up on the 15-minute chart, trade on the 1 hour chart, you know, trade on the daily chart. You know, most folks that are probably watching this video are not like me and retired. You got a day job that you have to go to. And by the way, I did a video yesterday on when to quit your day job so that you could start trading, and a companion blog post on my website, longwoodcurrencytrading.com, titled the same thing. But you do have a day job, and so I mean, you know, if you want to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and trade for an hour or two, you can scalp that and day trade that. But if you were like me and you're lazy, you get up at the last minute and head out the door. When I was working, you know, that's not going to work. You're probably going to want to check the 5 o'clock New York close. What did that bar do? What does it look like it's going to do? Put your trade on, and that's it for the day. Check it at 5 o'clock the next day or 5 days later. It's a much more relaxed type of trading. Well, I did a video on scalping, and I did a video on stress. I'm not stressed when I trade, when I scalp. You know, I could be doing this 20 times a day. I'm having fun. It's like a video game player. He's not stressed playing video games. He's excited. He's amped up, but he's not gonna go home and drink himself to death out of stress because he played freaking video games, World of Warcraft or something. That ain't going to happen, and it shouldn't happen if you're a trader. I think that has more to do with your personality than the thing that it is that you're doing. Your personality needs to be worked on first, and I've done videos on that as well. Well, look, I don't want to get too much off the track and become existential about this, but look, I've been 50 years in the martial arts, and probably 47 of those years have been in studying philosophy and psychology and fear, survival, and what the Buddhist would say, right living and right thinking. And so I have that advantage. I can take these objective views of this thing that we call currency trading, because I was successful as a real estate trader, and I applied those principles to my real estate trading and to my classical guitar work that I did, and to just about everything else that I do, learning how to cook, learning how to play backgammon, improving my poker trading, all of those things that I did that was successful at were a result of having my emotions under control and my personality under gear in a right living, right thinking manner. And so I bring that to the table in these trading videos. So I hope you appreciate that. If you don't fucking watch the videos. And don't be commenting below about what a rambling fool I am. To you, maybe. But if you're paying attention, you're going to learn something from the way that I present my views on trading. Because regardless of whether I'm going to classify myself a scalper or not, it doesn't make any difference, because it's trading. Time frame doesn't matter. I traded real estate over decades of time between trades, and I'm trading currencies now. I used to trade stock options. I understand trading. Look, it's for sale. What difference does it make what you're trading? You're trading commodities, you're trading currencies, trading real estate, trading old tires. Doesn't make any difference. It's for sale. So let me ask you this. Are you buying today or are you selling today? Let me know, because I may be on the other side of that trade. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day. Have a great trading day.